now at episode 5. I'm gonna do 5 to 9, and I'm gonna do them in no particular order. I am just going to talk about the couples and key moments that happen with them. So all the couples are together by 5-6. I think at the end of episode 5, in the middle of 6, all the couples are together. Something about Jessica really gives me I'm here for TVTs. But that's just me. Jessica seems like a fun person, but the genuineness is not coming through for me personally. Jimmy is like, well, I guess I'll stick with Chelsea. And I feel like Chelsea said yes to Jimmy's proposal as opposed to Trevor's proposal. Sorry for the spoilers, but that's what happens. Chelsea chose Jimmy and said yes to Jimmy because Jimmy asked first. 100% because Jimmy asked first. And Jimmy only asked Chelsea because Jessica was out of the picture, and he apparently didn't have his mind made up even though he told Chelsea that he loved her. So, yeah. In later episode, he almost tries to blame Chelsea for ruining his options, because if Chelsea wouldn't have spilled the beans in the pods, Jessica wouldn't have came into that pod with that kind of energy on that kind of timing. This girl came into the pod dressed in all black, ready to kill. A little dramatic. That's what I mean with Jessica. She just it's giving I'm having my movie moment right now. This is my iconic moment. This is gonna be the moment that gets me clipped and put on the internet. You're gonna choke when you see me. Okay, girl. That's how Jimmy and Chelsea are together. Jimmy's so excited that he's gonna meet Megan Fox. Meanwhile, he's gonna meet Meghan Trainor. Trevor gets rejected and he's all sad. And I'm saying sad because I'm sorry, this is not a channel where you are gonna live in a little La La Land. Trevor is a weirdo and a clout chaser, and he only came on the show for fame, and he had a girlfriend at the time of shooting. So all Trevor talk is slander talk, because we don't give a shit. We don't care about Trevor anymore. Trevor was our little big muscle man, our little big muscle mullet man. We loved him. And this is why we don't trust a man. We're gonna put Trevor down in the pits. Then it's the Chelsea Jimmy reveal. Chelsea is running, as she describes it, like a T-Rex, but as I describe it, like a 3-year-old child, getting picked up from daycare. And she's panting too, like a dog. But she's literally panting like a dog, running to him. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. I don't like to be a judgmental person, but everybody should take some time to be very aware of their bodies and how they move. Just for TV, maybe. I don't know. You know what? No bullying. Chelsea does run like a T-Rex with asthma, but that's her authentic self. I don't know though, because when she was hugging on Jimmy's face in the hug, he looked so disappointed. Because it wasn't Megan Fox. In Chelsea's defense, she did not ever say that she looked like Megan Fox. She said that people on the plane say that. And people are stupid sometimes. People will tell me that I look like Sky Jackson. I'm like, literally I don't. I literally don't look like Sky Jackson at all. She's black, I'm black. That's about the only thing that we have in common. To the pits. Go. Yeah, people are like that. But Chelsea, you shouldn't have said that in a situation where somebody doesn't know what you look like. Let's say you never said that, but then you guys meet in real life, and he already knows what you look like, and you're like, people tell me I look like Megan Fox. He'd be like, what? People tell you that? And then that would be that. It would be a funny little goofy moment. That's a game that question of that game was meant to be played in person. Clay could be a good person, but Clay needs therapy. I've never seen somebody, maybe Chelsea, but Chelsea is a generic person that needs therapy. Clay's oh, you have issues, brother. You have issues that you need to work out, or else you are going to hurt someone. Type therapy. Yeah, when they all, I think that's all the couples other than Jeremy and Sarah and Laura. Jeremy, Sarah, Laura, that entire love triangle is a fucking mess. Jeremy dumps Sarah Ann and is like, I'm going with Laura, whatever, that's great. And then Laura gets proposed to, that's amazing. Laura and Jeremy see each other. The reveal was very average. I couldn't tell if they loved each other or not. I think they both find each other relatively attractive. Laura, to me, is kind of a disgusting person, so I don't really care what she looks like, but to me, she looks like a Big Mouth character. She looks like Lola from Big Mouth to me, personally. Her face looks like, AI generated to me, personally. So, yeah. I don't like her. She gives nice, nasty, maybe a little racist tease. But that's me. That's just me, though. That's just me. No evidence. This is just me conspiring. At the honeymoon, everybody seems to be doing good. Jeremy seems to be getting on Laura's nerves. I think Laura thinks that Jeremy is very immature in the way that he holds himself, which I don't blame her, but also I do blame her because she's so nitpicky and so, particular about everything that you should do. It seems like she really wants to control a partner to the littlest T. And yeah, it's just odd. At the honeymoon, Kenneth and Brittany are together, and Kenneth is, I hate Kenneth right now. Remember, this is a 5 to 9, so this is 5 to 9. Kenneth and Brittany in the, down with the devil, please. Not Brittany, but the couple down in the pits. But Kenneth specifically, dance with the devil. But if you were a man of God, you would have told the fucking truth. You would have told the truth. You would have told the truth instead of trying to gaslight Brittany and do all that funk stuff. But we aren't even there yet. Kenneth and Brittany, they start off at the honeymoon, all good, and the ladies are swooning and oohing and awing because Kenneth pulled up a chair. Where is the bar? Where is the bar? That's just a gentleman thing to do. That's just somebody that was raised by a good mom. Ladies, let's stop being impressed by things like that. Please. Yeah, so that's how they start off. It starts off with Kenneth being like, yeah, babe, I want us to communicate every single night. He wanted them to talk every single night. I want us to talk every single night about our feelings and what went well and what could have gone better during the day. Then, fast forward, before they even move, on the boat ride in the DR, Kenneth is giving nothing. He's not interacting with Brittany. She's touching him. This is Brittany, this is Kenneth, and she's trying to touch him, and he's just he's doing nothing. He's giving her nothing. And then the dolphins came to save the day. Kenneth sees a dolphin and it's like, oh, dolphins. I'm sorry, but this guy lit up like a little kid because he saw some dolphins after being silent mode with his fiance for the whole boat ride. And then Brittany's like, can we get dolphins all the time? Dolphins on aisle 2. Ooh, Brittany, you are trying to be funny, but this is not funny at all. Not funny at all. So they get back home, and they get their phones back. And Kenneth is, again, like a little kid. TikTok. I'm kidding. He might not be on TikTok. He might actually be working on his principal shenanigans. He might have important things to do. But that doesn't mean you ice out the person talking to you. Or you tell the person, hey, I'm going to be working, sending emails, doing this XYZ for X amount of time. I will be back with you right after that amount of time has elapsed. Brittany, you bit yourself in the butt by saying that you wanted to be a traditional woman in the pods. You wanted to be a traditional woman that tells your kid to go to say, do what your daddy does. Ask your daddy, don't ask me. Because I'm just your mommy. Ask your dad, he runs the house. You bit yourself in the butt. There can have elements of that, but you made it seem like you wanted to be submissive 100%. The woman of the house, cleaning, cooking. I can do the cleaning, I can do the cooking, whatever Nikki said. Because as soon as you guys are in, you're the only one unpacking. You're the only one unpacking and organizing. And you know what this man Kenneth said? He said, "Get your ass in that kitchen." He wanted her to cook on the first night. First night back from somewhere? First night back from somewhere, you eat out or you eat in, like you order something. But he said, "Yeah, you better make some salt and pepper seasoned chicken." And you know what? Now that we're on the topic of seasoning, I'm not even going to insult Brittany because I think Brittany probably has better, more seasoned food, especially because she's dated black men before, than Kenneth. Because Kenneth only had oregano and Italian seasoning in his cabinets. But we have to actually go back to the honeymoon because Kenneth brings up the conversation with AD, and I've seen a lot of discourse blaming AD for even bringing that up. Kenneth felt this way the whole time. I promise you, Kenneth felt this way since the reveal. I promise you, AD maybe gave him a reality check, but that's not because of what AD said. It's because he sees his family and friends in AD, obviously, because AD is a black woman. So he sees a black woman asking him these questions, and he's like, I'm going to have to answer these questions from every black person in my life. Is basically what I think happened. But AD is not fully responsible for this man's bad behavior, and I wish you guys would stop blaming this woman for a man's poor behavior. Can we be for real? Brittany takes this questioning and is like, I hope it's coming from a good place, and I think we're all getting on Brittany because she likes to say, I identify as a white woman, and she identifies as a black woman. So I don't know all her experience, and I don't want to interfere with your black excellence. She's using a lot of keywords, but I implore you guys to have some grace on Brittany because she's learning, and she is not being ignorant. She's not being hateful. Like, ignorant in the way that she doesn't, like, understand how to use certain terms, but not ignorant in a way where she's trying to be hateful or hurtful. And Brittany is a very grounded person, very mature person, and honestly, she is, like, my favorite girl on this season. I know a lot of you guys like AD, but AD is pissing me off because AD is seeing all these red flags and not doing anything about it, and AD is very persuaded by words. Like, and I don't think she even likes Clay. That's my thing. I don't think AD even likes Clay, but we're gonna get into that after. So, back to Brittany, Kenneth. Kenneth goes downstairs with his phone, and he's texting, doing whatever, he's working, or whatever you want to call it. Brittany's still trying to talk to him, and then Brittany's like, I don't feel like you crave me. I don't feel that crave element in our relationship. And then Kenneth is like, there's no crave to you. You don't crave me. Thank you for telling me that. Gaslighting. Literally just gaslighting her. Flipping what she said into she doesn't like me. And then he's like, well, I can't be in a relationship where the person doesn't crave me. So this is done. God's gonna have good things for me. Kenneth has a way with words that is absolutely diabolical. There's nothing worse than a smart man. There is nothing worse than a smart, godly man who is going to be able to use the word of God and obviously he's educated. He's a principal at 25. So whatever intelligence he has is going to string together the most beautiful sentence with the best structure and trick you into not even believing your own words. And Brittany's crying because her marriage is over. Her fiancé-ness is over. She's crying. This man continues to go on his phone. Takes a little sip of his drink. Goes back on his phone. Then he leaves and he calls his friend and is like, yeah, come pick me up. So outside of the show, a cousin of Kenneth allegedly outed him for being gay. And I think that's really disgusting that his cousin would do that. And obviously, it's very irresponsible if Kenneth is gay and he came on this show knowing that he would not be able to fully give himself to a woman. It's giving, I'm delivered. But yeah, I think what the cousin did is way more disgusting than what Kenneth could have did. Because at least Kenneth broke it off in his gross way. Yeah, I don't really like the energy that people are acting like the cousin outing him out when he is a black man in the South working around kids and going to church. Like, you guys he's literally in all the environments that hate gay people. and his cousin's just gonna out him like that. I mean, I don't know if Kenneth should have put himself in this position, being on national TV like this, but I digress. That is basically Kenneth and Brittany wrapped up. Next, we have Amy and Johnny. When they are at the honeymoon, the only notable things I have to say is that Amy says that her parents are super involved in her relationships and that if her dad says no, then it's a no. Why'd you come on this show? Like, if I knew that my dad was very particular about these kind of things, I would not go on a show with an accelerated marriage when I know that my parents are super traditional and I know that it is a deal breaker for myself to not get the blessing. Amy, let's use our brains here, please. Anyways, other than that, their biggest issue is that Amy doesn't want to use birth control, which is valid, and Johnny doesn't want kids, which is valid. But Johnny doesn't want to use a condom because they're not as effective as birth control. I'm sorry, but nothing is 100% effective unless you get the tube tied or the thing snipped. And I think even a vasectomy is not 100% effective. So I'm trying to figure out, Johnny, do you just want to go raw? Do you just want to have intercourse with this lady raw? Because if that's the case, ew. But that's their biggest issue, is that they're going to have to figure out how they're going to do the with Amy not wanting to be on birth control and him really not wanting kids, like having a visceral fear of having kids before his time, because he wants to retire at 50, he wants to save money. Amy's like, I kind of want to enjoy my life, and if kids come, they come. That's a little scary, because that feels like she's gonna get pregnant and he's gonna give her a little in the stomach. But I'm kidding. Amy meets Johnny's siblings and it's a funky old time. Amy knows his almost name and they're laughing about it. She's part of the family! They're very loud people. I'm Haitian though, as you can see. So I'm not gonna judge loud people, but yeah, they were real loud. Then we have that's Amy and Johnny wrapped up. Like, they're not having any boom boom pow because they need to figure out how they're gonna have boom boom pow without having a baby. Then we got Clay and AD. Oh my goodness, Clay and AD. Should I talk about Bean Dip for Clay and AD? Yes, I'll talk about Bean Dip during Clay and AD's segment. Because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to AD. So while they're in the DR, they are in a pool. Clay's oogling and googling at her body, whatever, who cares? Then it's the big party where all the couples are meeting up, and nothing notable happened other than Bean Dip, in my opinion, so I don't really think I have to talk about the other couples. Other than the people that are in the Bean Dip incident, like Bean Dip Gate. There's no way I ever thought that I'd have to say Bean Dip Gate in my whole life. Laura in the pods like to flick people's breasts, and it's called bean dipping. Now, I know people are like, AD should have never let Laura do that. I'm sorry, but Laura should have never done that in the first place. And if AD like accepted it and let it slide, that is what it is, really. But can we focus on the source rather than blaming the person who got hit in the tit? Yes. So that was weird that Laura bean dips people and smacks people's boobs, especially because, I'm sorry, like, they can be close and cordial, but in the pods, they don't even, like, in the women's quarters, they don't know each other like that. You don't know these people like that. Why are you touching them? Why are you touching them? Why do you feel like you have access to their bodies? Stay away. Stay away. You do not have access to everybody's body, please. Laura, you're a weirdo. And Laura told her fiance, Jeremy, to bean dip AD. And so AD, Clay, and Jeremy are talking, and Jeremy's like, do you know what bean dipping is? Like, Laura told me to bean dip you. And AD's like, Laura? What the fuck? And Clay's like, what's bean dipping? And it's explained, and Clay feels very disrespected because why would you tell your fiance to sexually assault my fiance? That's weird, Laura. And Laura's getting all defensive, like, Jeremy, why would you say that? Jeremy, why would you say that? You're making a big thing out of nothing, blah, 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 blah. No, Laura, you try to incite your fiance to sexually assault another woman. Laura needs to be put on a watch list. On a watch list, please. Yeah, that's the whole bean dip situation. I think Laura is a real weirdo. Staying at the party, we're going back to Chelsea and Jimmy, and AD is still involved. At the party, Jimmy talks to Chelsea and is like, yo, that girl over there, she's stacked. AD, she's stacked. Chelsea, clearly uncomfortable, decides that she's gonna run with the joke. And she's gonna call out AD and be like, yo, AD, my fiance just said that you're stacked. How do you get your butt like that? And AD's like, squats and Jesus, girl. Squats and Jesus. Squats and Jesus. I'm a believer that Chelsea wanted to embarrass AD and Chelsea and Jimmy. Like, she wanted everybody to feel uncomfortable because she was uncomfortable. She wanted to be the cool girlfriend, but she ended up making it weird. And Jimmy goes to talk to AD for way too long. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, the conversation was fine, but the body language was not. Like, the contents of the conversation, like, they didn't say anything bad, but they were like, oh my God, yeah, like, I'm so happy with Clay, like, he can be a little difficult, like, blah, blah, blah. And then Jimmy's like, yeah, like, I love Chelsea, like, looking at AD's body, I love Chelsea, like, yeah, like, look, like, what? So, like, yes, Chelsea walked away, but from far away, that looks like flirting, so I'm not surprised that Chelsea felt a type of way about it. But I think Jimmy is just saying that he loves her a gazillion times during the night so that he can tell Chelsea that he says, I love you a gazillion times, even though he doesn't mean it any of those times. You know what I mean? Like, this guy gives her all the reassurance, but it doesn't feel real. And I think she knows it doesn't feel real, but she's still gonna complain and whine instead of leaving him. So there you go. But we are on Clay and AD, so let's get back to them. Another thing that happens during the honeymoon is that Clay eats soup and it gives AD the ick. And then randomly after he's done eating his soup and arranging all the plates in the middle, which is normal, and I don't know why AD was looking at him weird like that. I'm a server, so please do that when you go to a restaurant because it makes my job very easy. Unless you're bad at stacking. If you're bad at stacking, then it actually makes my job a lot harder because now I'm trying to pick up 50 pounds and I'm gonna drop it on your face. Anyways, yeah, he starts being super introspective and he's like, I don't want to let you down. AD, he just told you he doesn't want to let you down, which means he knows he's gonna let you down. And he's just preparing you for it. Another example of him prepping her for the worst is when he talks about how he doesn't believe that a black man can be faithful because his dad was never faithful. And his father took him, Clay's father, took him on infidelity trips. Who does that? And I heard that this happens sometimes, like, people have their kids and they will go to their side chick's house with their kids, like, when they're cheating. Like, what? Clay's father, no, we don't like him. We don't like him, and I don't know when we're going to meet him. And Clay literally says that, yeah, my dad might even want to flirt with you. Huh? Clay, the passenger princess? Yeah, AD drives Clay. And when they're, like, walking around with a bunch of stuff, she's holding everything. I believe the last notable thing, other than Clay having a nice house, like all the house meetings, I'm not really gonna touch upon, like everybody has a pretty nice house. Yeah, but Clay's the only homeowner, which is a notable thing. They meet Clay's sister and mom. This whole meeting gave me the energy that Clay was on the phone gossiping about how AD doesn't work, because the sister came in with the, yeah, I had work today too, just like my mom. What do you do, AD? What do you do all day? What do you do during the day? Nothing? And then AD's like, my work schedule hasn't started. I'm a realtor and a VIP club manager, and my schedule will start soon. And Clay's freaking out during this whole conversation and trying to basically say that AD is being overreactive because AD has an issue with him choosing to not come home some nights and prioritizing convenience of like his house versus their shared house and the workplace. Come home, Clay. Come home. Kiss your girl on the forehead. Like, it's not like it's a 3-hour drive or something. Because, like, my father used to have to stay in another city during the week and come home during the weekends because it was a literal 3-hour drive. And he could not do 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours at night every day, and it became a health issue. You are in the same area. You're in the same area. You're in, like, hours distance. Suck it up. Yeah, he's basically saying she's not even working. She doesn't understand. Like, what's the problem? And when he goes, what's the problem? Like, AD goes, ooh. And the mom goes, And the mom is very understanding. It's like, though AD has to understand that you have a work schedule and you're an entrepreneur, you have to understand that you need to make the time for the people that you love. She's like, I mean, my marriage failed, but I did a pretty good run. Is it a good run if he's cheating on you the whole time? And the worst part of that conversation was that when AD was a little cold and Clay had a jacket, he goes, burr. And Clay's mom has to give AD her shawl. Embarrassing. Let's go back to Chelsea and Jimmy. I know that I keep mentioning them and I can't give them their own segment because they're just involved in everybody else's story and it's kind of infuriating. But yeah, let's go post the bean dip night and the oogling and googling at AD's body. When they get back home, Chelsea is whining and saying that you made me feel uncomfy, you made me feel so sad, you ignored me, which he did. But Chelsea's not like having a productive conversation. If all you want from this conversation is that Jimmy listens to you, acknowledges you, and says sorry, then that's what you got in like the first 30 seconds of that conversation. But then she kept going and said, you just made me feel so uncomfortable. You made me feel so uncomfortable. And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Like, I was only trying to talk up good things about you, and I've been talking good things about you all night, and I just thought that was enough, which it's not enough, Jimmy. It's not enough. You're a really bad communicator, bad logic. Jimmy's just in his own butt. Like, I don't know what this man thinks good communication is, but he does not have it. But Chelsea is not accepting anything as an answer. And then she randomly switches and is like, I love you. That has to be an editing thing because that was weird. They visit Chelsea's apartment, which was cute, and the roommate is crazy. And it's like, you're married to me too now, Jimmy. And Jimmy's like, absolutely not. I already have to deal with Chelsea's crazy eye, and I'm not dealing with this one. Whatever. Then they go to Jimmy's house. Jimmy lives in a studio. He works from home. So he's like, yeah, when I'm working, you gotta go. You gotta go somewhere. She's a flight attendant, so she might not be home all the time, but she's still home sometimes. So they probably need to get a bigger place if they are gonna move in together. They probably do need a bigger place. But I'm hoping that they don't last. Chelsea invites her friends over. Jimmy's working upstairs. This is in the shared apartment, I believe. Chelsea's talking about how she was just a hot commodity in the pods and she got the hottest guy in the pods, which is why I think personally Chelsea only chose Jimmy because Jessica wanted Jimmy. And that's it. That's it. Because she's talking about how much she loves Trevor and Trevor was her number one. Which is why she couldn't give Trevor an answer. But fuck Trevor. So I don't care. She's also talking about how Jimmy is not giving her any affection. He hasn't kissed her all day. The timeline of this entire segment of Chelsea Jimmy was weird. Because he hasn't kissed you all day, but apparently he had sex with you that day as well. We'll get into that. He hasn't kissed you all day. You guys had sex. And like, he can name 2 occasions on which he kissed you. And you don't remember these occasions. So what's going on during this day? I'm so confused. Anyways, Jimmy finishes work and he's like, my boss said I'm irreplaceable. Okay, Jimmy, let's remove ourselves from the capitalistic fairy tale. You are replaceable. Everybody is. You're not special. Your boss just didn't like that he couldn't find somebody new while you were gone. He couldn't fire you for no reason because you took your PTO. Yeah. And they get to talking. For some reason, the Megan Fox thing comes up. Like Jimmy, I think Jimmy brought it up. And they're like, and Chelsea's like, yeah, who do people tell me I look like? And they're like, Carrie Underwood. And she's like, no. The other thing, we rehearsed this, ladies. Megan Fox. You look like Megan Fox. Yeah, she gets that all the time on the plane. Bro, this Megan Fox, Sue. Yeah, and I think Jimmy likes Chelsea's friends. After the friends leave, Chelsea brings up again how he's not being affectionate and he's not touching her, and Jimmy's like, but I did touch you and I'm working all day. I work from home. Like, just because I'm working from home doesn't mean I'm like available 24/7 to be all over you. And yeah, I feel like in this argument, they were both in the wrong and both in the right. But it didn't matter because Jimmy told Chelsea that she was clingy. And he also told her, because they had sex that day and Chelsea was trying to use it as a leverage on her point. Like, she's like, I watch your stupid fucking show. I watch your dumb show. I did other things with you. And I had sex with you. And yeah, la. And he's like, well, you know what? You wanted to have sex, not me. I could go without it. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. And then he calls her clingy. And it's all done from here. Because Chelsea's crazy. You call a crazy bitch clingy, you're done. So she's like, clingy? You're calling me clingy? And it's raps. She's like, I'm gonna get out of here, I'm leaving. And he's like, whatever. So he packs up his night bag and goes, and she's sad. Next day they make up and she's like, you really need to work on your delivery and I need to work on my emotions. And Jimmy's like, yup. Oh, also Jimmy saw a picture of Jessica, and that's why Chelsea's acting extra insecure, because Jeremy, and we're gonna get back to Jeremy and Laura, Messy Boots Jeremy's a drama queen. Jeremy loves tea. Jeremy's a little girl that loves tea. Because this guy shows Jimmy, it's like, look, it's Jessica. I ran out of storage, so that's why I cut off. Chelsea is so insecure that's insufferable, and Jimmy is lying. I know that Chelsea keeps saying, do you love me, do you love me? And Jimmy keeps telling her, yes. Jimmy's lying, and Chelsea's annoying. So they're both getting on my nerves. Jeremy, as I was saying, is a little messy queen that wanted to involve himself and show Jimmy Jessica's picture. But let's go forward into a lunch date with Jessica and Laura. Laura shows us that Jeremy got messaged by Sarah Ann. Remember in the pod, Sarah Ann was his second option. She said, yeah, if things aren't working out with Laura, hit me up. Like, you can get some, basically. And Jeremy double tapped it and it hearted it, whatever. Laura wishes he wouldn't have done that and he would have just ignored it or shut it down. Then Jessica is like, yeah, Jimmy. Doesn't give a crap about whatever Laura has going on. She said, yeah, like Jimmy friend requested me, which I don't know if Chelsea knows that Jimmy did that, which is going to be very interesting. Because I think that was left out. According to Jimmy, he just saw it because Jeremy showed it to him. He didn't mention no friend request. but she left it sitting too long and it expired, so there you go. But she knows what he looks like. He kind of knows what he knows what she looks like because Jeremy showed him, which now it's making me think that Jimmy asked Jeremy. It makes me think that Jimmy asked Jeremy because you requested her page to see what she looks like. Then you know what she looks like now because Jeremy showed you. But maybe you were just frustrated that she wasn't accepting your request, and so you asked Jeremy and Jeremy showed you. But maybe I'm looking too deep into that, but that could be a thing that happened. Jessica's like, do you think he'd still want to talk to me? Like, I literally am still in love with him. Blah, blah, blah. And it's giving fake. It's giving TV. I'm not here for it. And Laura is so mad about Sarah Ann home wrecking in her relationship, which I didn't mention this, but Jeremy on the beach told Amy that he wanted to see Sarah Ann. So she does have her reasons to be scared, even though she doesn't know that yet. But yeah, you're like, Sarah Ann is home wrecking. And then you're encouraging Jessica to home wreck. And you're like, yeah, and Jessica, although I know she's trying to not be mean and be as nice as possible, she's like, you know he'd like me more than Chelsea. You know it. Talking to the producers and the camera crew. Like, you know that I'm a hot commodity. I'm a hot girl. Like, you know that he'd want me. Oh, Jessica's voice is so infuriating. I already knew she was going to sound like that just from her cast reveal. I knew she was going to sound like that. Nobody with lips like that doesn't sound like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jessica's coming in with this homewrecker energy. Like, even if she doesn't want Jimmy, because I don't think she wants Jimmy. She just wants to be able to say, I win. I win, I win. Which is weird. Chelsea wanted to win over the pretty girl. Now the pretty girl wants to have her revenge moment. Her TV moment. Oh, you missed out on a hot girl. Look at you and your average Megan Fox girl. It's crazy. Now on to Laura and Jeremy. After the bean dip situation, Laura doesn't take any accountability for the fact that she literally incited her fiance to sexually assault a woman, a black woman, objectifying black bodies, I guess. On Black History Month? That's crazy. But she takes no accountability and is basically mad because he slept on the couch and iced her out. And Jeremy's being very aggressive and it's like, yeah, I need to work on things. I need to do better. I'm sorry. Okay, jeez. And they make up and they're like, we have the best communication. We're the number one couple. Do you guys know what number one means? Like best? Healthiest? Best communication. Aren't you guys literally fighting because he iced you out? I don't know about best communication. But that happens. Then I'm not sure if I'm going in order, but I'm just going to go in whatever I can remember because I don't have notes with me right now. This is off my dome, my big shiny dome. Freaking, yeah. Laura talks to Jessica about the message. Then it's time for Jeremy to meet. Actually, before that, they visit each other's homes, and Jeremy's house is immaculate and clean and looks staged, probably because he doesn't live there, but that's just my theory. Or he just moved in, whatever. I don't know. There's no reason a man needs a 4-bedroom house for himself. Something's going on. Someone's living there. He doesn't own the house. He's renting. He's renting a 4-bedroom. You rent a whole 4-bedroom just for yourself? Who do you have visiting Jeremy? Be for real. Because we all know the tea with Jeremy and his ex-fiance. I don't think that the kid is his kid. But then again, the kid looked like a baby. And if the kid's a kid, I don't know. Unless that was an old picture that the mom shared. If you guys don't know, the mom of Jeremy's ex shared a picture of them because Jeremy was engaged shortly before being on the show. So he might have not cheated, according to himself, but he didn't give a shit about working on himself and being single for a little bit. And he's cheating on the show, so there you go. It wouldn't be surprising if he was cheating before. So, yeah. His house is super clean, and Laura loves to complain about everything, so she's like, it's like a serial killer, or why are you so clean? Yeah, clean, but Laura and Jeremy put their fucking shoes on the bed. They're so clean, but they don't take their shoes off when they're walking on carpet. What is going on? Ugh. Then it's time for Jeremy to meet Laura's parents, and Laura's parents notice how mean Laura and Jeremy are to each other. Before the parents came, they were putting flowers in a vase, and Jeremy's like, you should put some water in it so that it weighs it down. And she's like, thank you. And he's like, yeah, we need one smart person. And she's like, well, I'm the one with a college degree. Like, unnecessary. I don't like that kind of banter all the time. Like, I like a little teasing, but not too much. I really don't like teasing, actually. Don't insult me. Don't be mean to me. Don't be mean to me, because it infuriates me. Laura won't get off these Hawaiian shirts and how much she hates Hawaiian shirts that Jeremy wears. Her sister-in-law, who is also there, because her sister-in-law and brother are there, and she's like, well, if he likes it, then that is what it is. That's great if he likes something. Laura is a classic high school bully. She doesn't give a shit. Now, let's just skip to the biggest part. Biggest drama of the episode. Jeremy is sitting on the couch, shades on. Laura walks in, take the fucking shades off. We're getting serious. So she sits down, detective mode. Where were you last night? Jeremy's like, I was with the boys. We were going at one place, karaoke. Plans changed, and we ended up at Lost and Found. Sarah Ann was there. I thought that I could just turn around the car and not go, but I'm not gonna let anybody dictate what I do and what I don't do. Okay, Jeremy? Jeez. And Laura's like, so you were with Sarah Ann until 5 a.m. because he didn't come home until 5 a.m. He's like, yes. And Laura's like, I don't believe you. And then Jeremy's like, well, he thinks he's pulling out the trump card. I shared my location, madam. Laura's like, I don't care that you shared your location. And I'm with Laura. You could have shared your location while you're literally smashing in her car or in your car in the parking lot of Lost and Found, for all we know. So yes, you shared your location. And Laura's like, well, I was asleep anyways. Ooh, it was a trick. It's a scam. Because Jeremy's like, well, yeah, we stayed in the parking lot. That's my truth. And then Laura's like, you ready to tell the actual truth? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And she's like, don't share your location. Don't share your location, Jeremy, if you don't want anybody to check it. Because he thought he pulled the slick one when she said she was asleep. He's like, okay, great. She didn't check. You know what he's wearing? A little Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch tracked him to Sarah Ann's area. And I don't know what you're doing in Sarah Ann's area other than going to Sarah Ann's house. So Jeremy got caught. Jeremy's a little piece of crap asshole, and all the men on this season need to go to hell. Kenneth, liar, using God to manipulate. We hate that. Johnny doesn't want to wear a freaking condom. Hate that. Who else is on this? Jeremy, cheater energy. Hate that. Clay, warning you that he's going to be a cheater. Hate that. And Jimmy is a flaky little liar. All these men, it's like they literally went to the worst man convention. Is like, you're all hired. Come on the show. That is my recap of episodes 5 to 9. I'm going to try to watch 10, 11. Is it 10, 11? Only that is out right now. I'm going to watch the episodes that came out as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying. Thank you for rocking with me. Sorry about the lighting. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell for more.